Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bite the Arrow. And in this day's episode, whenever you're watching this, I've reviewed the 1966 movie Sting of Death from William Griffith. So, Sting of Death then. So a real 1960s BZ movie monster flick, completely low budget and completely so bad it's so good. I don't know. I'm still undecided. So, it's about a group of college students who go and stay at their friend's house. And the main protagonist, her name is Karen, and they go and stay at her dad's place, he is a biologist, marine biologist. And they go and stay there and party, so all their friends come over. And essentially, they all get killed off one by one. Well, not one by one, but they all get killed off. So, I'm going to talk spoilers, so spoiler countdown 1, 2, 3. So it starts off, opening scene actually of this movie is a young girl on a kind of pier docking area. She gets killed off by this sting man creature. And you learn that it's actually a jellyfish man later on in the movie. And this is really low budget. So there's a character called Egon, very similar to Igor, but Egon. And you're introduced to him very early. He's kind of the father's helper, kind of handyman who does everything. He's disfigured, a bit kind of Phantom of the Opera-ish. And he ends up being bullied by her friends, Karen's friends. And Karen's very much, don't listen to him, I like you, and kind of reassuring him, being very nice to him. So as you would expect, he has this real affection, real love for Karen. And that really comes across very early on. And basically, as the film progresses on, her friends are starting to get killed off by not only a jellyfish man in a really bad jellyfish man suit, which is so terrible but so strangely enjoyable, but also plastic floating bags, aka man-of-war jellyfish. So her father studies these man-of-war jellyfishes. And there's this scene where a boat capsizes. It's so inconsistent and it's so shit. But literally there are like blue food bags, if that makes sense to anyone in the UK, floating in the Everglades in the water, and they just look so bad. And they're meant to be jellyfish, and a load of people get killed off by them because the jellyfish man sabotages the boat, and it is just absolutely bonkers. There's this one scene where this song was wrote for the movie called the Jellyfish Dance, and this song is so annoying that it'll stick in your head for weeks after you've watched it. Apart from that, though, the soundtrack is very kind of 60s, even earlier 50s, 40s, kind of horror, B-movie horror. I really did enjoy the soundtrack to it. This film is all shot in the day, so very bright colours, all the teenagers, all the eclectic friends, characters who have you have no interest in at all in bright clothing, dancing, so it's very bright, very shot in a very bright, day scenes, whereas a lot of these old movies tend not to be. You can tell it's very influenced from The Creature of Black Lagoon. So, goes on, and basically all her friends are starting to be killed, all picked off, and then what you do is, shock, you find out that Egon is the jellyfish man. And there's a scene at the end where they find his underwater lair. And the underwater scenes are great. They start off diving down into the Everglades in the dark, murky water, and then it cuts to the underwater scene. And it's all beautiful, as if it's like the Barrier Reef with tropical fish swimming around. I'm sure you don't get that sort of fish in the Florida Everglades. But basically, it all comes to an ending where the main protagonist, Karen, and her love interest find Egon's secret lair, in which there's a transformation scene which rivals the transformation scene from American Werewolf in London. And there's this jellyfish man with a big bag on his head, which is bonkers. And there's a big fight sequence, and it is just bonkers. I don't know what more to say about this film. I watched it on a Sunday afternoon, so whenever this goes up, yeah, it won't be the same day, but I watched this on an Sunday afternoon, and it was kind of your perfect low budget, stupid, not gory at all, enjoyable afternoon monster movie, if that makes any sense. my eldest was running around and she was watching it and then not watching it, so I didn't, it wasn't gory enough so she couldn't watch it. And I find myself having a fun ride with it, I must admit. So all in all, I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. Cheers.